Hi, welcome today to our very special webinar on the Mid-Atlantic Nursery Trade Show. I'm Sherry Lejeune, the chair of NGC's Virtual Resources, and with me today is Trish Bender. Also on our team, Pat Rupiper. And we are so happy that Claire Jones, who you met through the Christmas Home for the Holidays, and our NGC blog chair, Peg Riccio, are going to help us with our program. Once again, thanks for being here, and let's get off to a start. Number one, Mid-Atlantic Nursery Trade Show is over 51 years old. It started between West Virginia, Virginia, and Maryland nurserymen. Back in the day in the 1960s, if you wanted to buy special trees, you would get hold of your local nurserymen, and they would give you a list of people who would come and help you select and plant trees. So with that, I'm going to show you a special anniversary video that MANTS actually created.
Here we are almost 50 years and we're still considered the masterpiece of trade shows. We are the main trade show of the industry.
I think you have to have a presence. Everyone in the industry, the who's who, are usually at MANTS.
The approach that MANTS has taken, we really respect it because they've put business first and it is working.
I would say MANTS is all about relationships. Have a 92 to 93% exhibitor retention rate. We bring about 11,000 people to town every year, and we know that 75% of them, the attendees, come back year after year.
Kind of like the old days where you would finish farming and go to the city and buy your supplies and sell your stuff. So it's a good break from the normal routine and you can do some good business.
MANTS is kind of the start and the end of everything that we do. It's the start of spring, it's the end of fall, it's right in the middle. It's a good reunion, it's a good time.
I've met a lot of contacts and friends and associates throughout the industry. You're shaking hands, you're seeing how their year went, what they're expecting for next year.
I kind of feel like nearly MANTS is a place where innovation meets still tradition, and you can learn from both so much, especially if you're young and new to the industry.
Throughout the year, MANTS and the economic critical mass that it achieves supports the state organizations in the region to sustain the full array of programs that they do, and we partner on a lot of those. Without MANTS, the industry organizations that are doing so many other things would not have nearly the strength.
It's gray and dreary outside, it's cold, it's January, but as soon as you walk in the doors, there's nothing but life and color and greenery. There's fountains jumping and robots moving around, so it's just a really, really cool experience.
I've been coming to this show since 2015. We drive 14 hours from Missouri all the way to MANTS. It's an exciting show, new ideas all the time, good friends. It's amazing.
I've been to the different trade shows. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. You can see and meet everybody at one time.
Why this show has been so good and popular with vendors is the board listens to what the vendors have to say.
Our predecessors on the board had this vision for the show and really set the standard of what we wanted to do, and we're trying to maintain that standard.
It's a great chance to bring these people from all across the country really under one roof to be able to network with each other, to do business deals together, and it's really forming those relationships that are the foundation upon which business is done.
There's young folks stepping up that are taking over and doing a wonderful job.
There's people down there exhibiting that are second and third generation of nurserymen and people that I knew their dads, I knew their granddads.
I'm glad it's a survivor for 50 years, and I can see it has a good future ahead of it.
About 5 years ago, I think everything got finalized and we formed the group Emergent, bringing young people, whether it's high school grads from an FFA program, 4-H program, college grads, to get involved in the nursery industry. There's so many different facets in our green industry besides just growing plants. There's consulting, there's arboriculture, there's teaching. It's important to always look to the future. We need to educate the young people coming into it. So coming and getting real world knowledge, real world feedback from what the people have to say here.
I think everybody in the business, even when you grow plants or when you plant plants, you have that feeling of reward that you're contributing to society.
It's about doing business, and so we say MANTS means business. That's the legacy of the show.
And there you have it, because very few stop and think. Of course, we at Garden Club think about it all the time, but you know, here we are. Let me show you something very quickly. So here's the local garden center in my neighborhood called Merrifield. And it's one of the biggest in our entire region. They do probably close to $100 million. There are 3 outlets. They were a mom and pop. So, you know, many people go in there and they think, oh gosh, they must be starting from seeds and growing their own plants. But of course, now that you've seen the Mid-Atlantic Nursery Trade Show, you know that's actually not the case. They do some from the root ball onward, but really and truly not so much the seeds. So with that, I am going to introduce you to Claire. Claire Jones, who you met during the holiday program. And she's got something wonderful to share with you because she was at MANTS along with me. And even though it was a very different show with masks, mandatory masks, and about a third of the vendors missing, there was still so much dynamic information to learn about what's new in the industry. So with that, I am going to introduce you to Claire. Welcome, Claire.
Hi, I'm Claire Jones. I'm an NGC member here in Maryland and District Director of Federated Garden Clubs of Maryland. I live in the Baltimore area and I had the pleasure of attending MANTS for 3 days last week. And as a business owner of a landscape design company and garden writer, I want to keep up with the latest trends and plants. And I'm sharing with you some videos that I recorded while I was at MANTS. Hi, I'm talking to Peter with Pittmoss, and he's going to explain all about his potting mixes and soil conditioners, which are actually a replacement for peat. So take it away. Tell me about your product and if consumers can buy this in nursery center.
Sure. Thank you. So just so you understand the name, Pittmoss, the pit means Pittsburgh. Moss it's a peat moss replacement made in Pittsburgh. And Guy Monhanley, our founder, was in the business and saw all the paper being thrown into landfills. He also saw his mom using newspaper in the garden, and it held a lot of water, but it gets very compacted. And he said, if I can keep this aerated, I might have something. And so he worked for years chopping it, adding things to it, and got it to a point, and he went on Shark Tank, and lo and behold, Mark Cuban is from Pittsburgh, and he said, this is the future of soil, is carbon friendly, peat moss free. So that's kind of the PR story. This is available in both for retail and commercial growers. So if you go on our website, pittmoss.com, you can find all the places, or if you can't find a place, we'll direct you to someone near you where you can buy this. So it's everything from a 10-quart little bag, light as a feather, all the way up to much larger bags. And commercial growers can get very large super sacks. And we have it in completely organic, which is called Plentiful. It has composted chicken manure and core and bark to keep it aerated. And if you want for maybe more indoor plants, we have something called Performance, which has slow release NPK fertilizer if you don't want to have chicken manure in your house. And we also, as we are playing with more and more cardboard in our mixes, we realized, can you come over here? Mm-hmm. We started to mix cardboard, and somebody said, wow, this looks a lot like animal bedding. So we have a cardboard mix it's one for chickens called Roost. We also have one for horses, very similar products, called Prestige. And you can also use it for small pets like rabbits, and totally organic. And so after the animals use it, it goes right in the garden and turns into instant compost. So everything from paper soil to cardboard and everything in between. If you're small or if you're big, we have something for you.
Next up is a West Coast company called Renee's Garden Seeds. You can see their heirloom and organic seed packets in many garden centers across the country.
Hi, I'm talking to Beverly of Renee's Gardens, and she is going to describe all about Renee's seeds, about how they are garden to table. They're located in Belton, California. And they have wonderful seeds that I use for my own home garden. So take it away, Beverly.
Okay, so a few things to know about Renee's Garden and a few of the things that make us distinctly different from other garden seed companies. One, we have rigorous, extensive trialing of every single seed that makes its way, or every single variety that makes its way to a Renee's Garden packet. There's a 5-acre trial garden at Renee's property in Felton. We also work in Middlebury College in Vermont, and they have a trial garden there. So we're trialing in cold season and warm season, winter seasons. But every seed is trialed, sometimes for 2 and 3 years. And if it performs according to Renee's standards, then it becomes one of our seed packets. We have also more than 270 selections that are exclusive to Renee's Garden. A number of those are mixes that are hand chosen and mixed by Renee through Trial Garden Experience. Some of them are special varieties that Renee has sought individual independent growers and sought out what she wants, that maybe other seed companies don't use those growers. And so we have a really wonderful mix of really top quality products. You know, our germ rates are really high. Our packages are, I'll show you, have really extensive instructions. You can see that. And then there's a little flat there so that gardeners can feel really confident in using our packets.
Next up is one of my favorites, CowPots. They manufacture biodegradable plant containers on their family's dairy farm using cow poop.
I'm talking to Amanda, and she's going to explain all about their products, which I love to use every spring. Go ahead, Amanda.
Thank you, Claire. So my name is Amanda, and I am a 3rd-generation dairy farmer. So my family's farm is in the northwest corner of Connecticut, and this is what we're doing with our cows' crap. So they're giving it to us every single day, regardless of what we are going to do with it. But what we are doing is we're taking that manure, we're capturing renewable energy from it, and then we're forming that manure into biodegradable plantable pots. So we are making 14 different sizes. This is our number 7 square. And so whether you are starting seeds like a tomato seed or a basil seed, or you're growing dahlia tubers, we have a pot to fit the growing need. And you can rest assured that this product is made in a zero waste facility, and it is biodegradable, it is renewable because the cows are giving it to us every day, and it is sustainable. So you have nothing to throw away. There's no plastic. This pot goes right in the ground, and it breaks down in one growing season.
Where can you buy them?
So you can go to our website, cowpots.com, COWPOTS. And if you are a home gardener, it will direct you to the vendors that you can get small quantities. There's also a page specific for growers. So if you're looking for larger case quantities, it will direct you to those distributors. But you can find all that information on our website.
Wow, look at all the variety.
There's literally a size for every growing need. And what is really cool about when it is time to transplant your pot is that the roots will grow right through this pot. So you put the whole pot in the ground. You don't have to take the plant out. You don't have to score the bottom. The roots are already growing through the pot. You put it in the ground, so there's no transplant shock, and the roots will continue to grow unrestricted.
All right, thank you, Amanda.
You
Next, for all you Proven Winners fans, is Walter's Gardens in Michigan. And I always make a beeline for their booth as they have the latest and greatest.
With Andrew from Walter's Gardens in Michigan, and he is going to give us a little update on new introductions by Proven Winners. Go ahead, Andrew.
So let's look at some of the new things that are going to be coming to garden centers in 2022. Let's start with the A's. Amsonia. This is one of my favorites. String Theory. So it has very nice, fine texture. Excellent plant for the landscape. Periwinkle blue star-shaped flowers in late spring, early summer. Brilliant golden orange fall foliage color. Great pre-season perennial. This is definitely one you want to keep in mind for the garden. Really good deer resistance, great with pollinators, U.S. native. Amsonia String Theory. Then here in the back, we have a Polemonium. This one is called Heaven Scent. Scent S-C-E-N-T because of the nicely fragrant flowers. So this will have a really pleasant garden aroma. Excellent foliage texture, overlapping leaves. This is a great one for those semi-shady spaces. It'll do okay in deep shade, but you really want to give this a little bit of sun. It'll help with this dark foliage color. So if you're planting this in spring, the entire plant will be pretty glossy, nice dark color. Then if we want to come over here, we'll maybe give a bit of a sneak peek for 2023. So this is one maybe to make sure you have on your wish list. So still the dark side of the moon. Nice dark black chocolatey foliage. This is a must plant. Foliage gets about knee high at maturity once it's established in the landscape. And then in midsummer, tall spikes of dark purple flowers. And this one will go full sun to full shade. So again, probably best somewhere in the middle.
And what is that called again, Andrew?
This one is still the dark side of the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, so 2023,
Very
you'll see that one in garden centers.
All right, how about the daisy?
Yeah, so then the Shasta daisy we have here in the back. This one is Leucanthemum Banana Cream 2. Banana Cream 2. Okay, well, Banana Cream was for the longest time one of the most popular Shasta daisies in the Proven Winners perennial program. Now we have one that's a little bit of an upgrade over it. So you can see it's got very nicely overlapped flower petals, really good yellow color to the flowers. You're not necessarily seeing that now. It is January. You don't necessarily get true color in a trade show setting like this, but definitely one you want to keep your eye on for. One of the earlier Shasta daisies to bloom. Excellent branching, so lots of flowers. Very profuse bloomer. Will do great in just about any garden.
Next is American Native Plants, which sells retail online. So I know a lot of people have asked about native plants. Here you go.
Hi, I'm talking to Natalie, and she is from American Native Plants. She's going to tell you a little bit about the company. Go ahead, Natalie.
Hi guys, nice to see you. So we actually also have American Native Plants is our wholesale business. Direct Native Plants is our retail business. So if you're interested in native plants for your backyard, you can go to our website, directnativeplants.com. We specialize in trees, shrubs, and perennials, primarily native to the eastern United States. We get a lot of interest from people who want to support bird populations or pollinators, or really want to try and create a biodiverse habitat in their own backyard. We are mail order only, but we ship across the United States. All of our products have native range maps on them, so that you can tell what's native to your area. So please visit. Again, the website is directnativeplants.com.
And I wanted to add here that Claire used her iPhone video for all of these interviews. She's shared with me that she's never done this before, and I thought she did a great job. And of course, some of the back noise you heard, you couldn't unfortunately you're at a convention, so this happens. I know a lot of you are putting many things in the chat. Could you please save your questions for Claire and Peggy when we're finished with all the presentations? Please put your questions in the Q&A. And now Claire's going to show us some of her favorite new plant introductions.
All right, everybody, can you see the slide that says new plant intros at MANTS?
Yeah.
Great, great. So I just highlighted a few that really excited me. So first, we're going to start off with a Nepeta, and I'm sure you're all familiar with the lavender Nepeta or catmint. And I use these all the time in my garden designs because it's deer resistant. And so I'm really excited to find there is a pink variety out there that expands my palette. Dianthus Jolt. I use this as an annual for containers, and it is a non-stop bloomer. It blooms all season long when most dianthus stop blooming. So I love this one. It is a lot of color. And the next one, are you tired of your foxgloves not coming back every spring? Arctic Fox is a reliable perennial hybrid foxglove. It produces flowers for every year. And this is probably one of my hands down favorite, Salvia Rose Marvel. I use it for deer browse areas. It's a long reblooming plant that I cut as a fresh flower for arrangement, and it stays at 12 inches tall and attracts butterflies. Kitchen minis, we're going to move to little veggies. These are adorable miniature tomatoes and peppers that you place indoors on a windowsill to harvest your own homegrown vegetables. They stay about 12 inches tall, and you can harvest them for about a month. All right, let's move to some woodies. New gen boxwood. The cultivars are Independence and Freedom. Or if you're a gardener, you know that boxwoods are succumbing to the blight across the US. These are very resistant to the blight and leaf miners that are plaguing boxwoods everywhere. Encore, oh, isn't that a beauty? And I'm sure you're familiar with this class of reblooming azaleas. They like a little more sun than the old azaleas, but this one caught my eye because it has like these beautiful petunia-like flowers. Very pretty. All right, knockout. I was done with knockouts for a while because they get too large for the landscape. But they put it in a new package, petite knockout. It only gets 3 by 3. It will fit in a landscape much nicer and behave in a much nicer manner. And then at the very end, as a garden writer on my last day, I pick up all these things that I want to take with me because I'm local. I can load up my car and put it all in my cart, and I take it home to my greenhouse and trial a lot of these plants. So Sherry, those are my plant introductions.
That's great, Claire, and thank you so much. And now we're going to switch over, and I'm going to have you stop your video, Claire. Okay. And now we're going to introduce Peggy Riccio, who is again, if you weren't there at the beginning, is the National Garden Club blog chair. And she's going to give you a little pitch about that, but she is also going to share with us her favorite new plant introductions that she fell in love with for MANTS 2022.
My name is Peggy Riccio, and I am a horticulturist and a garden communicator in Virginia. I'm also going to change this so I can start. Let me move this down.
Hit your slideshow, Peggy. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, okay, there you go. Great.
So I'm Peggy Riccio. I'm a horticulturist and a garden communicator in Northern Virginia. I have a website called pegplant.com, which is an online resource for gardeners in the DC metro area. So visit my website to learn more about me. But I visit MANTS because it's only an hour away, because it's in Baltimore. I'm in Alexandria, Virginia. I drive up and I go for 2 of the 3 days because there's that many vendors. It's in their convention center and it's huge. There's many, many vendors. And I go to learn about new plants and new products. So here are a few of the new plants that I discovered when I was there. Tradewinds hibiscus plants. These are from Keepsake Plants, which has a Facebook site. These are compact. They're only about 2 feet tall. And of course, they're tropical plants. So they're not going to overwinter in some place like here in Virginia, but they are tropical plants and they may last in some place like California or Florida, but they bloom all summer long with these huge blossoms. They're 4 to 5 inches wide. And this series of Tradewinds hibiscus plants are deliberately compact to be grown in containers. So they're perfect for the poolside or the porch or the deck. And there's 7 different colors. Right now, I'm just showing you 2. On the left is Tangerine Paradise Wind, and on the right is White Treasure Wind. Okay, so the ice plants are ground covers. They're only about 3 inches tall, and they're very drought resistant because they're succulents. And they, as you can see, they do produce these beautiful flowers. They bloom all summer long. And these particular ones are finely cut petals in kind of a neon color. They're very bright. So the left is called Mountain Dew, and the one on the right is called Orange Crush. These are from Must Have Perennials, which has a Facebook site. And these are actually hardy to zone 5. So they're really very useful. The next one, the next slide, is a butterfly bush. This is actually a variegated butterfly bush. As you can see, it's green and cream, a very unusual color. But you grow it just like a butterfly bush, full sun, and it gets a little bit tall. So you want to give it a hard cut back in the spring to keep it tight. And it still has the butterfly flowers where it attracts the butterflies. This one is mauve purple flowers that to me seem a little bit bigger than other butterfly bushes. Very attractive plant and hardy to zone 5. This one is from Must Have Perennials, which has a Facebook site. So the next one, this is a mock orange plant. So mock orange is a very old-fashioned deciduous shrub that's actually very hardy to zone 4, even though this is coming from the Southern Living Plants collection. This particular one is called Pearls of Perfume. Pearls of Perfume is a mock orange plant with these double white flowers, and the flowers appear all along the plant from top to bottom. Blooms in the spring with these flowers that are so fragrant, they smell like oranges. Very hardy shrub, hard to kill the thing, hardy to zone 4. And just like with a butterfly bush, you might want to give it a good cut in this, after it's bloomed in the spring to keep it in shape. Next one is the Perfectamundo Epic Pink Reblooming Azaleas. These azaleas are from Proven Winners Color Choice. They have a website. So Perfectamundo are azaleas that are about 3 to 4 feet tall, and they bloom more often throughout the summer instead of those couple of weeks in the spring. But the epic means that the flowers are even bigger than the other Perfectamundos. And these come in 2 different colors. This one here, which is pink, and on the next slide, you have coral. And these are hardy to zone 6. So the next plant, these are reminiscent roses, and these are from Proven Winners Color Choice shrubs. And these are deciduous rose shrubs that grow to about 3 to 4 feet tall, disease-resistant shrubs, can take the heat in the summer. And these are bodacious, large, luscious flowers. I love them. And they're very fragrant, and you don't have to deadhead them, but they would be great for floral arrangements. They come in 3 colors right now. This first one, coral. The second one is pink, and the third one is white, although they call it cream. And as you can see, they're just gorgeous flowers and fragrant. And that's it for the new plants, but I do want to remind you that I'm also serving as the National Garden Club blog administrator. So please check out the blog articles on the website. And you can also subscribe so that you can email every week notifying you of a new blog article. And please feel free to write an article for the blog. Anybody can do it. Just email blog@gardenclub.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peggy.